Disney's animated canon has established what many people think of fairy tales throughout the world. Usually, things start with a plucky, kind-hearted heroine wanting more and end with a showdown with a horrifying villain and a happy reunion with true love. That said, Disney didn't invent these fairy tales. They existed for centuries beforehand, and many older versions actually go in completely different directions to what people would recognize. People might think fairy tales end with a happy marriage, usually into a royal family, but many older versions of classic stories actually have a second act where the villain tries to get revenge on the protagonist. Occasionally, villains suffer horrific fates, even if they are well-deserved. That said, the protagonists aren't always promised a happy ending in fairy tales either. Of course, it's important to remember that fairy tales have been retold for so long that there are bound to be countless versions of a story that have been practically lost to time. 8. Snow White was rescued by her own. Many who grew up watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs remember the iconic scene of the prince waking Snow White from her death-like state with a kiss. However, while the Grimm brothers had a few different renditions of the story, there is no magic kiss. In the original manuscript, for example, the prince has nothing to do with Snow White waking up. There was no love's first kiss either. In this version, Snow White's parents are given a larger role. The queen is Snow White's own mother, and it's the princess's father who finds her in the woods in a glass coffin. That said, the king still arranges for Snow White to marry a prince after she is revived. In other versions, the prince is involved with Snow White's awakening, but it's usually only indirectly. In one version, the lovesick prince has his servants carry around Snow White's casket everywhere he goes. Eventually, one servant grows so tired of this that he beats the girl, causing her to cough up the poison apple, reviving her. In another, the prince's men trip while carrying her coffin, which once again dislodges the apple. Beauty and the Beast sees Belle break the spell on the prince, which transformed him into the titular beast. While this is also the case in the original story, a few things are different. In Gabrielle Suzanne Barbat de Villeneuve's version, the prince's mother is horrified to learn that Beauty is a merchant's daughter and not of noble blood. A fairy, who had been watching over Beauty, comes to her defense. Belle was sort of a changeling. Not only does the fairy point out that Beauty already proved herself by breaking the spell, she reveals that the girl actually is a lost princess and was placed within the merchant's family to protect her, having taken the place of the merchant's own dead infant daughter. Moreover, Beauty's real father and the Beast's mother are revealed to be brother and sister, making the title couple blood cousins. Much of this was cut when Jean-Marie Leprince de Beaumont abridged the story. Her version, however, also added another aspect to the ending. In this version, Beauty's sisters, who tried to delay her from returning to the Beast, are cursed to become living statues and perpetually watch their sister in her happiness.